What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Teej pack. Teej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Teej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Teej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Teej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Teej pack. Feel the Teej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for rocking out, for always holding me down. You guys are the greatest ever. What up? It is Thursday. First Thursday of the year. Friday Eve, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all enjoyed the show last night. It was absolutely incredible. It was one of my favorite shows that I've done thus far. I'm not even going to forget. The first Wednesday show was incredible. I gave y'all all of the game, all of the sauce, all of the game, all of the sauce. Yo, I woke up. Three hours late today? 3 hours late. I meant to get up at 5 o'clock, and I know y'all see me, Anton. He go to bed at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, man, I woke up 3 hours late today. But when I woke up, I felt good. Thankfully, chills on that show. Cat Williams ain't touching you. Thankfully, I already had a lot of different things already set in place because I try to be really proactive. Bola, you really need to go and watch that show yesterday. You really need to go and watch that show yesterday. A shout out to AR Smitty. Yeah, I'm going to review Cat Williams. I'm going to break down, not on this show. So tonight, what up, Trap and Slay? Trap and Slay is becoming one of my favorite people. Every time I see Trap and Slay, I'm like, what up? What up, Yakar? What up, Tamara? Tonight, I think I'm going to do an After Hours tonight. After Hours is completely off script. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it, what's going to happen. So whenever I feel like it, if I'm not live streaming at night, I wind up just doing an After Hours. So I think I'm going to do an After Hours tonight. We're going to break down Cat Williams. Somebody sent me a viral clip of them swag surfing inside a church, so we're going to address the church. I got you. Las Vegas Courtroom, we're going to address that here today. I got a full show. I'm always prepared to do a show for y'all, and you know Anton can't miss. So I'm going to address the swag surfing. I'm going to address some DJ academics accusations. Lots of things that I plan on addressing tonight in after hours. Conversations that we don't usually have. So we're going to deep dive into that. What up, friends? What up, friends and family? Hey, let me get a one-word mental health check in the chat. Cat Williams, I'm going to address that on after hours tonight. One word mental health check in the chat. Stevie O Dub says last night was goated. Last night was crazy. If y'all didn't watch last night's show, y'all got to go back and watch that. Y'all got to go back and watch that. Yeah. We're going to bring up the Epstein stuff. We're going to deal with the court stuff. We're going to deal with Jersey. We're going to address renting versus buying. We're going to address the CHIPS Act. Biden said $162 million over to the chip companies. We're going to get there. Blessed, befuddled, grinding. Good morning. Grinding from Honolulu. I need to be in Honolulu. Busy, grateful, uplifted, grateful, stretched, great. Inspired, especially after last night. Overwhelmed, motivated, prosperity, positive, depressed. Feeling dusty, working, energized, God's only son, blessed, standing. You unlocked gold bear status. Good morning, grateful, tinkering, overthinking, grateful, focused, happy, relaxing, courageous, elevated. Top of the day, present, new owner of a company in healthcare. Shout out to you, inspired, working, moving, preparing, lovely, omni-focused. Betrayed, not a Star Wars strategy. Betrayed, retired. I like that. Cash. Blessed. Morning, says Azriel. One of my most faithful, holding me down. Diddy in a jailhouse lawyer was gold. Motivated, clean, motivated. Shout out to True to Myself. Magnificent, says Will to CNA. Hey, man. Hey, it's been a great year so far. Hey, look, we don't plan on missing at no point in the year. And in order for me to really not miss, I got to make sure that I focus on my health. I do. I got to get more rest. I got to get more sleep. Moving to Detroit. Shout out to you. Yeah. I got to get more rest, man. I got to make sure that I take care of myself. Y'all want me to be able to operate at a high level for a long time? I got to figure out where I can get that rest in. I got to make sure that I take care of business. I got to still make sure we hit the gym. We got to be on top of things. So whenever you see me, I'm not high off coffee. I'm not high off Molly's and all of that type of stuff. I'm high off life. We got to keep going. We got to keep pushing. And so I want to encourage y'all to make sure that y'all have y'all mental health in check, that you got your body right. That's the thing that people don't really talk about, is that, running really hard and focusing and doing things, you wind up going to the gym or you wind up focusing on your health because you want to really operate at a high capacity. I know I got to get the rest. I know I got to get the sleep. I know I got to take care of business. I got to operate at a high capacity. I do. And so I don't plan on missing. But in order for us to do that, we got to make sure we take care of ourselves. So sometimes you focus on health not because you just want to be built muscular. I mean, that's cool too if you ever get there. But you focus on your health. You focus on losing weight. You focus on eating right because you want to really be able to live for a long time. Spend the money that you work for and also continue to operate at a high capacity. I can't help nobody if I'm in a hospital. And that's the thing that I be telling y'all is, be selfish before you selfless. Because if you don't take care of you, if everything you do is pouring into everybody else, you're going to crash out. And then ain't nobody going to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I don't drink no coffee. What up, Sky? I don't drink no coffee. I don't drink none of that. I drink tea. I'm on water. I'm kicking it with the water. And we just rocking, man. We got to push. All right, y'all ready to get to it? All right, let's get to it. First, I got to make sure that I acknowledge my dude, Mike That Dude. Shout out to Mike That Dude. I appreciate you. Hold on. I got to make sure that I acknowledge everybody that look out for me. I don't want to skip over nobody. Mike That Dude. My dog, Melvin Johnson. What up, though? Hit me off on that Cash App. I appreciate you also. And then let me acknowledge a few of the super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the show. Wealth Building Journey is in the building. Said, what up, though? Got some somber news this AM. A loved one's passed after a brief battle with cancer. This one hurts. Hug on your loved ones because you never know When that time comes, keep prayed up, keep staying prayed up, and stay up. Yo, can we send a prayer up for Wealth Building Journey real quick before we get started with the show? Wealth Building Journey, I'm praying for you. God bless your family. God heal your heart. Understand that they not suffering no more, and we the ones that still got to be here in this mire, So I know that life happens. We can't live forever, and we always gonna have things that we have to overcome. But just know that you got family here, and you got people holding you down. And I pray that God heal your heart in Jesus' name, so that you can continue this journey with us, and that you don't suffer for too long in order to be able to mourn your loved ones. But just know that life is on this side, not on that side. We got a lot of life to live. Your loved ones would love for you to continue to push forward. And I know that if anything was to ever happen to me, I wouldn't want y'all sitting out there being sad. Show me that you love me by continuing the work that I did and continue to take the journey. So we got your back. Health with the Wealth Building Journey. We love you. You still family over here. Chris James with the 20 ball says, just checking in, finally joined the Patreon. Been busy, have not been catching the TMMS live, but been following along on my downtime. As long as you hear it, family. As long as you feel here. Hey, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. I'm dropping a video this weekend, and we doing Stock Club on Sunday. Tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to Chris James. Welcome to the family. Objective Hustler says today is officially Army retirement date after 20 years. Congratulations, but don't rest on your laurels because you still got work to do. That's just retirement from that particular job. Now we got the real work starts here. All right, you rest, have a good time, but let's really still come on and get to that bag. All right, y'all ready to get into the show? Let's get into the show, y'all. First segment of the show, you know what it is. It's Quick Hits, where we go in and we break down what's happening out in these streets, man. But we don't necessarily want to dedicate an entire segment to one particular subject, but we want to keep y'all informed on what's going on across the United States of the Americas. First on Quick Hits is Epstein. Apparently the documents was released. And so let me bring y'all up to speed on that.
Never before seen court documents related to the case against Jeffrey Epstein. Hundreds of pages were unsealed last night from a civil suit involving Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. They include names of people not accused of wrongdoing and at least one former Epstein employee facing new allegations. Nancy Chen has that story.
Former President Bill Clinton and Britain's Prince Andrew are two of Jeffrey Epstein's most high-profile associates publicly named in the more than 900 pages of mostly unredacted documents released Wednesday. In a 2016 deposition that wasn't unsealed until yesterday, accuser Johanna Schoberg says she was with Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Virginia Giuffre in 2001 when she met Prince Andrew at the millionaire's Manhattan home. She told attorneys that when they were taking a photo, I sat on Andrew's lap and Andrew put his hand on my breast. Giuffre previously said she was forced by Maxwell and Epstein to have sex with Prince Andrew when she was 17.
Pause. Major pause on the play.
He denied those allegations and told the BBC in 2019 that he didn't know Giuffre.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
You don't remember meeting her?
No.
They settled a lawsuit out of court in 2022. While the documents help flesh out what many have known about Epstein for years, it is unlikely that the revealed names will lead to more legal action.
So let me break this down. It was over 170 people, they say, so far in the first list of names. No, I'm sorry. 40 newly unsealed documents are part of a larger group of about 250 that are expected to be released in the coming days, naming more than 170 people with ties to Epstein, including victims and former employees. Before the dump, online sleuths speculated about who might be named. We'll get into that in the next part of Quick Hits. But here's some of the A-listers that apparently appeared in the newly revealed documents. Prince Andrew, as you can see right now. Bill Clinton was named, and they say former President Bill Clinton's name appears 73 times in the newly released papers, The Independent noted. Also said that he is not implicated in anything illegal, but as a part of the 2016 testimony, Johanna recalled Epstein telling her that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. Many references to Clinton appear to be related to the girl's attempts to compel him to be deposed in her since settled suit against Maxwell. Clinton, who flew on Epstein's private jet multiple times, has denied having any knowledge of the creep's crimes. Donald Trump was named at least 4 times. He responded. We're going to go into that tomorrow. Alan Dershowitz. Hold on. Professor Alan Dershowitz. Let's see. Epstein allegedly forced Jane Doe number 3 to have relations with his lawyer, former Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, when she was a minor, claims in the documents. Stephen Hawking is named. It says he offered to reward her friends, acquaintances, and even family members in order to help prove that her allegations that theoretical physicist and cosmologist Stephen Hawking participated in an orgy were false. An unsealed email between him and Maxwell stated. Al Gore. Maxwell's attorneys requested she provide photos and videos of herself with several high-profile people, including former Vice President Al Gore. She objected to the motion on the grounds that such documents were in the custody and control of Maxwell and Epstein. The unsealed paper shows. Joanna also denied ever meeting Gore in her testimony. And then I'm going to just read some of the names, and I don't know if you guys recognize some of these names. Leslie Wexner, Bill Richardson, Jean-Luc Brunel, Marvin Minsky, Michael Jackson, David Copperfield, Tom Pritzker, Glenn Dubin, Frederick Fekkai, Ehud Barak, Kevin Spacey, George Lucas, Naomi Campbell, Leonardo DiCaprio, Cate Blanchett, Bruce Willis. These are some of the names, some of the high-profile names of the more than 170 people that were named in the document that was recently unsealed. So it would be interesting to see what that flight log is looking like, right? Continuing on. Jimmy Kimmel threatened to sue Aaron Rodgers, football player Aaron Rodgers. Take a look.
All right, soon a federal judge is expected to release the names of dozens of Jeffrey Epstein's alleged victims and associates. And now comedian Jimmy Kimmel is threatening a lawsuit against New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers for insinuating without any evidence at all that Kimmel's name might be in those documents. This is what Rodgers said in a radio show.
A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't.
Again, we didn't play it to amplify it. We played it so you could see what was said here. Kimmel responded saying, in part, for the record, I have not met, flown with, visited, or had any contact whatsoever with Epstein, nor will you find my name in any list other than the clearly phony nonsense that soft-brained wackos like yourself can't seem to distinguish from reality. Your reckless words put my family in danger. Keep it up, and we will debate the facts further in court. Now,
so Jimmy Kimmel is not playing no games. He said, my name ain't in it. I ain't never met him. I'm Bennett. I ain't in it. And you can't just recklessly be saying my name associated with it. And I don't know what Aaron Rodgers would have against Jimmy Kimmel that he would do that. But Jimmy Kimmel was saying, I'm not playing no games. And if you keep on playing with my name and put my family in danger, we're going to talk about it in court. Now, I don't object to that. I think that people need to be very, 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 very careful, especially when they have a voice, a prominent voice, and you go on a national platform and you start putting their name and stuff. You got to be 100% sure, because that's not nothing to joke with. I think that there's a lot of things that we can joke with, but that's not one of them. All right. And then last but not least, a Chicago firefighter is arrested for an alleged road rage incident. Take a look.
And breaking news tonight, a Chicago firefighter now charged in a road rage shooting incident from New Year's Eve. 34-year-old Omatayo Kasim has been with the Chicago Fire Department since 2019. He is scheduled to appear in court tomorrow, facing 3 felony counts, including attempted first-degree murder. Police say Kasim got out of his vehicle and fired shots at the driver of a black Jeep. That driver was trying to make a U-turn about 8 o'clock Sunday night on West Foster Avenue. A man who lives nearby said he heard metallic scraping sounds and then walked out of his house to find 2 men speaking loudly to each other in the street.
For a moment, I might go over and say, "Could you guys please quit it? You sound like you're drunk or something. You're out of your minds or whatever. Just get out of here."
The victim here suffered a gunshot wound to the face, now listed in critical condition. Chicago Fire Department has pulled Kasim from duty, and police also took his gun.
So shout out to the Chicago Firefighting Department for making sure that you go ahead and adopt the same policies that O-Block got. Got into a road rage incident, got into an argument. Now a man is apparently in a hospital recovering from a gunshot wound because the firefighter said that, yeah, I got that heat on me. Let's talk about it. So shout out to Chicago. You guys just can't seem to stay out the news. I get so much Chicago. I just need to keep a radio scanner inside of my studio for Chicago, because I get so much content for Chicago that I can't even use it because we don't have a long enough show to go over it. I literally could just name this the Chicago Show and just have content for days and days and days. Did y'all know that Chicago is building a migrant intake center? They are literally allocating resources, spent $95 million of COVID relief funds, and they're building a migrant intake center, which basically tells you that they have no intention of no longer supporting the migrant crisis and the influx of people, and that Chicago's finances and budget is going to be absolutely destroyed. Yes, man, I'm telling you. It could be a whole nother channel. Somebody need to start that. I don't have the capacity to do it. That's an idea for y'all. Another one. Start the Chicago Crime Channel or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, they are building the Chicago Show. I just gave y'all an idea. Somebody better run with that. I don't have the capacity. I'm already doing after hours. I already got Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom. We already got Millionaire Morning Show, the Anton Daniels channel. We got too much on our plate as it is. And I own a couple of other channels that y'all don't even know that I'm a part of. So, yeah, man, they building a migrant intake center. So they have no intention of stopping this migrant crisis from coming on. But ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hit. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Let me read this one super chat really quickly, and then we're going to get it popping because I got to acknowledge my people. Global Chef says, Ton Dog, you was cooking last night, sir. I shared that with so many people. See you in Honolulu. I can't wait to be over in the Lou. Not the St. Lou, but the Honolulu soon. Salute to the Chasers, all 2024 hashtag. I appreciate you, man. I can't wait to get you over there to hopefully cook for the fam. I pay well, too, so I'm never expecting nothing for free. Whenever I do business with people, I make sure that I pay well and I tip well, too. So shout out to my dog, Global Chef. I appreciate you for coming through and also supporting the platform by contributing. It does not go unnoticed, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. All right, y'all. I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also, Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Make sure that you come in to After Hours and subscribe to that channel. It's called After Hours with Anton Daniels. I need to put that in the description of these videos. I'll take care of that after the show. Make sure you subscribe to After Hours with Anton Daniels. We're going to be live streaming tonight. A little later, but definitely going to be live streaming tonight. What up, Tam? What up, all of my chat? What up, everybody that just came in late? Sky, Trap and Slay, Kojak. Everybody in the building. Let's get started with the show. All right, so crime happening across the United States of America. The first thing that we got to go over is, yep, we back in Chicago. Rideshare driver, Uber driver, got shot, carjacked, trying to drop off a passenger over in Chicago. Take a look.
New overnight, a rideshare driver is in critical condition after he was shot during an attempted carjacking.
Glenn Marshall joins us live with the details. Good morning, Glenn.
Hey, good morning, guys. Now, police are looking for 3 suspects involved in this shooting. We're told that they actually shot this rideshare driver after he refused to give up his vehicle last night. Take a look at the scene here. Police had their focus on the investigation on this Toyota Camry here. The shooting took place just after 10 last night near the corner of North LeClaire and West Iowa Street in the Alston neighborhood. Police are saying a 51-year-old rideshare driver was dropping off a passenger at a home when he was approached by 3 male suspects on foot. We're told the suspects took the victim's phone and demanded he get out of the Toyota Camry. However, he refused to get out, and police are saying the suspects fired shots hitting the man in the chest. He was taken here to Mount Sinai Hospital, where he is listed in critical condition. As of right now, no one is in custody for this. Police are still searching for those 3 suspects. If you have any information that can lead to an arrest, police would like you to contact them immediately. For now,
surprise, surprise. Even rideshare drivers that's just trying to take care of their business, do their job. You got a Toyota Camry, family. What you gonna do with a Camry? A Camry is supposed to be the most family-friendly, safest car on the road, and you carjacking a 51-year-old man out of a Camry, and because he didn't want to give up his ability to earn, because people need their stuff. Now, I'm not telling y'all to put y'all life on the line for no stuff. You can always replace stuff, hopefully. Some people can't replace stuff. But why you shooting the Camry driver? Why you shooting the guy that's trying to take care of business and provide for his family? That's not right. That is definitely not right. So prayers up for the 51-year-old man. And hold on. Prayers up for everybody in Chicago. Prayers up for everybody in Chicago that got to endure through this crisis, whether it be the crime, this mayors and y'all elected these people based off of what they look like instead of whether or not they can solve for the problems in the community. I still got my eye on you over there on Philly. I know it's only your first or second day in office, but I'm going to be watching you, Sherelle, over in Philly, the first black female mayor. I got my eye on you. I do. But prayers up for everybody that's over in Chicago that got to suffer through this. Let's continue.
Breaking overnight, a major development in the Texas murder mystery. 18-year-old Savannah Soto was 9 months pregnant when she and her boyfriend, Matthew Guerra, were found shot to death last month in San Antonio. Now, police have now arrested a father and son.
Shout out to Rita. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. I appreciate you, baby.
In connection with the killings. Christiane Benavides has more.
Are you sorry for what happened?
8 days after the bodies of 18-year-old Savannah Soto and the father of her unborn baby, Matthew Guerra, were found in a car in San Antonio, police arrested 19-year-old Christopher Preciado and his 53-year-old father, Ramon Preciado, at a home.
The father answered the door. He knew why the police were there, cooperated fully with the investigation, and our detectives were able to start interviewing both the son and the father.
Preciado is facing a capital murder charge. His 53-year-old father is charged with abuse of a corpse for allegedly helping Christopher move the bodies after the killings.
What the heck is happening in Texas? Hey, San Antonio, what y'all got going down there? Charles Barkley almost convinced me to come and visit y'all because he said that the ladies like churros down there. Y'all do realize that that woman had a baby and she was like 9 months pregnant, right? That she was about to give birth. And I haven't seen this story. I'm still trying to figure out what happened. I don't know why the father would help the son, knowing that the son is a murderer. Good God. Good God. She was pregnant, man. She was pregnant.
Police say the pair was killed somewhere other than where they were found. Soto and Guerra were reported missing the week of Christmas. Soto was scheduled to have her labor induced on December 23rd, but her family says they couldn't reach her. The two were found shot dead in their car on the afternoon of December 26th, but police say the murders were carried out the night of December 21st, just before midnight.
One of the key pieces of evidence that we did collect at the scene was Savannah's cell phone.
That information, authorities say, helped pinpoint the location of the suspect's vehicle, this pickup truck seen here on surveillance video, close to where the bodies were found and a few days before they were discovered.
Yeah, that's that fat daddy. That's that overweight fat daddy walking in his pickup truck. Y'all do realize that cameras is everywhere, right? Let me for all of you crime committing bad people in society, let me just say this. Things are changing. And I remember when people used to advocate against cameras going up on the poles and cameras at the traffic lights and all of this, and they would say, "Oh no, it's an invasion of our privacy." No, it helps us catch you when you're doing things that you're not supposed to do, and so they triangulate your position based off of your cell phone that pings off of certain towers at certain times because they can know and they can see and trace back where you was. And then that's when they start to pull the cameras because it's all uploaded into the cloud, and that's where your tax dollars is going. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that part. And then they able to see you on different cameras going into different places. They even able to pick you up off of Ring cameras, off your houses, and they know what's going on. So while y'all out here committing crimes, I'm so thankful that y'all getting caught. But y'all do know that crime is different. Like, you can't just commit a crime and that be it now. They got you in HD. Moving bodies, what time you did it. They know exactly what time that the corpse died. They're going to do an autopsy. You can't fake it. You're not getting away with that type of stuff the way that you used to in yesteryear.
Police also revealed a possible motive related to the murders.
It appears to be a narcotic-related deal that went bad.
There it is. There it is. Every time you start getting involved with people that ain't doing things right, be careful. Listen, ain't no more good people. Good is defined by your actions. And there it is. You got caught up in a deal going wrong. And so he wound up taking you out and he took the girl out. She probably was a witness to it. She probably was with him. She probably knew where he was going. And so he had to take them both out. Baby, unborn baby, never going to be born. Father now implicated because the father then helped you get rid of the body. So daddy going to prison. Baby ain't never going to be born. Girlfriend is probably not even a part of it. Wanted to be a hot girl and get involved with a dude that was having a money phone up to his ear. He gone, she gone, baby gone. They going to prison. Daddy going to prison. Everybody gone. Everybody got to suffer. Now everybody gone. Family was expecting a newborn baby around Christmas. And now everybody's suffering. Shout out to y'all. Let's continue. Oh, Las Vegas. Y'all crazy.
This is the shocking moment a man attacked a Las Vegas judge in her own
That's
courtroom.
crazy, bro.
Clark County District Court Judge Mary Kay Holthus was in the middle of sentencing 30-year-old Deobra Redden to prison for attempted battery for substantial bodily harm when he unexpectedly jumped over both the defense table and judge's bench and tackled her. Court officials and attorneys jumping to the judge's aid. All of it caught on this courtroom video.
Is she okay?
A court marshal appearing injured as officers eventually subdue the defendant while helping the judge get back to her feet before escorting her out.
Y'all
The terrifying
monsters.
attack, just the latest security scare for judges nationwide. Last year, a man shot and killed a state judge at his home in Maryland after the judge ruled against him in a child custody case. While in 2020, there was a horrifying attack in New Jersey where a disgruntled lawyer targeted federal judge Esther Salas, showing up at her home, shooting her husband multiple times and killing her 20-year-old son.
Is it that bad out here? I didn't know that y'all was targeting judges like y'all was the mob. Whoa. Whoa. You telling me don't run for judge in Detroit? Because I'm going to be sentencing everybody. I know everybody going to be mad at me. If I ever become a judge, maybe that's what I want to be. Maybe not after seeing that dude leap up over there like he Carl Lewis. I was thinking about becoming a judge. Everybody going to jail. No sympathy. No. You know how it's that one guy, it's like a really nice judge and he always giving people a slap on the wrist or he's always, doing a nice thing. I'm the opposite of him. You going to jail. Oh, man, we got Judge Anton Daniels. Everybody going to jail. You knew him? Jail. Oh, you thought that you was going to jail. Listen, guys, I'm going outside of the guidelines. That's going to be my tagline. My tagline is going to be, listen, guys. So I'm going outside of the guidelines on this one. Wait, Judge Anton. You know that we negotiated with the prosecution and that. Yeah, but I don't think that they actually gave you you got a good lawyer, but I'm going to go outside of the guidelines. Outside of the guidelines time. That's my name. Sentences people to the maximum is my game. Oh, you thought that you was getting out early? Well, you know what? I do know that you probably going to get out for good behavior. So we're going to tack another 10 years on that just to make sure that you serve the full sentence. And I order you to the maximum facility. Don't let me become a judge. Everybody going to jail. Everybody going to jail. Good lawyer, bad lawyer. Oh, you going to waste my time, huh? See, that's why I don't need to be a judge, because I would need maximum security. I don't want nobody jumping over the bench to come and get me.
Judge Salas told Savannah about her efforts to help better protect the personal information of judges in a law named after her son Daniel that has since been passed.
What are you hoping will happen now?
What I'm hoping will happen now is that we will expand these protections nationwide. This is a matter of life or death.
Wednesday's incident now raising new questions about security in courtrooms. In a statement, the Las Vegas court saying, "We are reviewing all our protocols and will do whatever is necessary to protect the judiciary, the public, and our employees."
You know what they doing now? They moving everything online. Real talk. They not having nobody come in the courtroom. They doing everything online. Most places do everything online. I had got a ticket like a couple years ago, and I had to do it via Zoom, and I was still back at the crib, and I was getting ready for my live stream. At the same time, I never had to take off of work, any of that. And so everything is going online now. I don't have no sympathy. Oh, you the one that was online asking for reparations. Put an extra 3 years on this sentence for him to think about what he had to say to me. Anton, you should recuse yourself from this because you know that person. Oh, no, I remember him. Come on over here, Cletus. Come on, Cletus. I'm sending everybody to jail. You asked for reparations, you going to jail. You supported Dr. Umar Johnson, you going to jail. You decided that you wanted to become a subscriber of, what's that simp's name? What's the simp's name? I forgot what his name is. I ain't talked about him in so long. You going to jail. You going to jail. Oh, you having children out of wedlock? Jail. Poisoning your community? Jail. You was hating on me in 1996? Jail. Oh, you look like your daddy, huh? Jail. All right, let me read some of these super chats. I can't be out here in these streets. It's too much going on, and I want to make sure that we get to the rest. Boyce Watkins. You follow Boyce Watkins? Hey, somebody pull up his algorithm and let me see who popping up on his algorithm. Watkins, jail. All right, let me read some of these super chats, and then we going to move on with this show. Everybody going to jail. Ain't nobody getting early parole either. Amafai says Uber will stop service in the hood, and rightfully so. You know what? I had a driver tell me that DoorDash driver, and it was like, yo, I keep getting this neighborhood and this location, and I won't deliver it. I just go ahead and cancel it. He keep telling me that he was getting a specific location down in Detroit in the kill zone. He was like, I won't even go. I said, you a smart man. Shout out to Amafai. Rita! Oh, man, she done came through with the big dog. She came through with the big dog. She says, you are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. I am not afraid of tomorrow, for I have seen yesterday, and I love today. Oh, girl, you so inspirational. You so inspirational. Shout out to Rita Cameron. Hey, she said Happy New Year for everybody. If I had $1 for every single subscriber, I would give it to y'all. But Rita Cameron said, Anton, I got to hold you down, and I am very, very thankful. Shout out to my chasers. Make sure y'all tab into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Prince L.E.N. says, screw Kimmel. He has been saying reckless stuff on TV about Rogers and other folks for years. Nah, he want to be offended when karma comes back to him. I don't know the history between Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel, but thank you for bringing me up to speed, big dog. Enos Lubis says, my late fee last night morning for me was fire. If you ever decide to start cycling for health and wellness, please hit me up so we can set you up right. X-Bag Fumbler, hashtag Bag Chasers is up in 2024. Shout out to my London family and my people across the pond. Amify says, I hate sharing the same skin color as these monsters. They and these rappers give us a horrible, horrible PR. Nah, it ain't you. Don't worry about it. They don't look at us all the same. Trapping Slay in the building. Says Judge Anton Daniels, I'm sending all of you to an egregious amount of time. That's a fact, though. And they sound just like me. Uh-oh, you know my whole steez. I'm about to switch up my stems now. Jay Hunter Lee says, AD was on fire last night. Keep spitting, brother. Y'all need to go back and watch that show. I'm about to rewatch the show. Enos Luby says, trying to sue everybody, jail. Flat. That's a real talk. Kung Fu Hustler says, Hollywood is a cesspool, and we don't need to support them at all. It's all demonic. I agree. Most of the stuff that's happening in the regular streets is demonic. Let me move on. So Jersey said, don't send no migrants over here, family. We ain't got no resources for you. And we so tired of New York and all of the problems that they got spilling over. But then we also have Republicans going to see what happened over there at the border for the migrant crisis. Let me bring y'all up to speed of what's happening. But before we even get into that, you know, Denver has reached its breaking point, right?
31 is dedicated to continuing coverage of the growing migrant crisis in Denver. Now, during a sweep of a migrant encampment just...
Oh, she a little thick. Hold on. I'm trying not to get distracted. Give me a second. All right. Okay. Is this Denver? Somebody give me the link over to the Denver newscaster so I can see what's happening over it. I don't know what it is. I just kind of got a thing for newscasters. I got one that's coming on the platform. Mid-January, but she got to come in person. So we already making sure that we get her flight taken care of. She going to be here in January. We're going to be recording at Don't Do Coke at the Bathroom Studios. I want to know what her real life is like. So I got one coming into the studio. I'm not going to say no names. You just going to have to be a part of the Patreon to understand it because we going to get deep dive into it. I told you the Patreon is going to be great. It's going to be great this year. And she is... I don't know what it is. For some reason, I just got this thing for newscasters. But I do got one coming into the Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom Studios. They said, I can't wait to come over and see what you got going on, Anton. I said, I can't wait to have you.
This morning, you see that Denver firefighters rushed in to put out a blaze that was set and sparked near the tents and nearby homes. You see the flames right there.
Obviously a big danger right there. It happened while city staffers are moving at least 100 people off the streets near Zunai and Spear. These migrants have been staying there for months now. And this morning, our camera is rolling as a bus dropped off even more migrants during prohibited hours. Fox 30.
She got good knees, too. That's the thing. All right, let's focus on the migrant crisis, y'all. We can't keep getting distracted. She got good knees. If you ever want to be able to identify somebody and properly address them by their pronouns, look at their knees. Their elbows and their knees are going to tell you. Because nobody get elbow tightening. You know what I'm saying? You could tell a dude's elbows. That's a man's elbow right there. It's moisturized. It got lotion on it. But this is a man's elbow right here. You see the forearms? This is a man's elbow. Now we got to start looking at a woman's elbows and their knees to make sure that they what they supposed to be. She got good knees, though.
31's Vicente Arenas joining us now with that story for us here at 5. Vicente.
Yeah, guys, of all things, that tent fire breaking out as the migrants were being moved out. All that taking place on the morning when this sweep was taking place. And you mentioned those buses. Those buses should not have been here before 8 in the morning. Just as crews were getting ready to move migrants into safe housing, a roaring fire broke out among the tents at the encampment. Crews had just begun setting up fences and clearing rows of tents that have been popping up for months now. Frustration has been building.
We understand, that's fair. You know, there was a fire here this morning. We know there's a public safety risk for neighbors, and that's a fair expectation.
That's the mayor right there. That's Mayor Mike Johnston right there. Listen, Trap Slay, I'm telling you, if you want to understand women, you got to pay attention to the details. If they got good knees, that's a plus. That's not a red flag. That's a green flag. That's a green light. Check out, listen, the next time, for all of y'all that got a spouse next to y'all, don't let her cover up her knees. Check her knees and see what she like. That's going to be... Check her knees. Check her knees.
That's fair. You know, there was a fire here this morning. We know there's a public safety risk for neighbors, and that's a fair expectation.
At least 100 people, the city said, would be given shelter and be put onto a path of more permanent housing. Most of the people at this site had nowhere to go after being forced to leave the Quality Inn near Zunai and Spear. The city had ordered that migrants not be dropped off at certain locations between 8 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon. But our cameras captured 2 buses unloading before dawn at the Quality Inn. More migrants are expected.
There's not only buses, there's going to be...
Oh, no! Oh, my God! What is going on? Look at it! Yo, these migrants is making a mockery of y'all. They are making a straight up mockery with y'all. What is happening out here in these streets? Not a sassy migrant with a backpack on and a good coat and a haircut. You're not going to do this to me. You're not going to be sending me sassy migrants. One thing I can deal with is us understanding what's going on at the border. But the last thing that I'm going to have is a sassy migrant in the midst of a fire when they trying to clear out the homeless camp. We not doing this, Ben. What up, Denver? Denver, this what we doing? You dig them glasses, Ferry? I'm not going to be having no sassy migrants over in my cities. That's the last thing that I'm going to do. Come on, man.
I think a lot of people again in the street in few days. There's going to be in some days a lot of people outside again.
Listen, Denver, whoever this news company is, y'all know what y'all doing. You went over there and you found the sassiest migrant that you can find, and then you interviewed them. Stop. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Come on, man. What we doing, dog? This is the United States of the Americas. Good God.
Mayor Johnson says this
Look at that. Look at the Carter. Look at the Carter in Denver. Denver, y'all a mess. Who from Denver? Denver, y'all are a mess. Let me find out who in Denver. I know some people over in Denver. I gotta know some people over in Denver. Where my Denver brethren at? Because this is ridiculous. I gotta check in with my Denver folk and see what's happening out here in these streets. Denver. There we go. Hold on. Let me call my Denver family real quick and see if it's really as bad as they say it is. Denver.
Your call has been.
Hello?
What up, big dog? This Anton.
Anton, what's up, man?
You busy, bro?
I'm just over here
getting shit going at my restaurant for the day.
All right, yo, I feel you. Tell the wife I said what up. Hey, I'm on a live stream. I got a question for you, bro.
Okay, what's up?
You been over to Denver lately?
Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always in Denver.
What's the migrant? Is the migrants over there taking over?
The migrants? Oh yeah, it looks crazy, bro. Oh my goodness. Me and my wife. So I have an industrial sewing machine, so I go over to over by Invesco Field, like this place where I go to get my thread for my industrial sewing machine or whatever. Right over by the Invesco football stadium or whatever, pretty much like kind of by downtown, right?
Yeah.
Bruh, it's like it literally looks like what they show you like on a third world country, like, you know, when they're trying to get donations. It looks like that over there.
Denver, that messed up like that? They look like a third world country?
Bro, it looks like an apocalyptic movie over there, bro. For real, like it looks like what's that movie? My man, Book of Eli.
Yeah.
Bro, it literally looks like one of them towns, the town that he went into or whatever. It looks like that over there. It looks crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. It's unfortunate, bro. Like literally $1 million properties. Like I was over there. I popped this property, the address. I popped it in the Google because I was just curious, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like these people, they built a shanty town in front of like a $1.3 million crib. Looked like it just got renovated. Yeah, bro. So you paying 1.3 or mortgage or whatever. You paying cash, paying mortgage, whatever. What's the mortgage on that? Like probably like 10 G's. And you paying $10K a month, and they just pop a tent up right in front of your spot, bro. Like, yeah, man.
Man, is that bad?
Bro, it's nasty, bro. You can smell it.
You can smell it?
Bro, it stinks. It stinks, bro. I'm telling you, it's horrible, man. It's bad. And then like just in random spots in like random spots in Denver, bro, like, yeah, it's bad, bro. Like even behind my restaurant, bro, I don't know why the city won't knock this building down. Man, I keep complaining, you know, but they want to focus on other stupid things that don't even help the city at all. You know, it's just politicians, bro. They really serve their own interests. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So it's crazy, bro. Like even where I live in Colorado Springs, it's the homeless and like the migrants, bro. It's mad crazy, bro. Like, yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Peace.
Some of my friends and business owners over in Denver say it's bad out here in these streets.
Situation is just not sustainable.
What we are focusing on right now is talking to mayors from other cities about their willingness to collaborate with us on a coordinated entry system if there's not going to be a federal system.
Families removed from the encampment this day supposedly will have housing, but others, like this father,
no. Is Denver the zesty migrant location? What is going on in Denver? What is happening in Denver? What is the zest meter in Denver?
will have housing, but others, like this father.
Okay. All right. I see what's going on here. They separating people.
Say they're still not sure where they will go next.
That looked incredible. That looked crazy. Coming to a city near you. See, it ain't your problem till it's your problem. Because they did the same thing with the drug crisis, right? As long as the crack was in the hood, it's cool. But then when they start selling meth, yeah, and they start getting that Fenty, and I ain't talking about Rihanna, I'm talking about that fentanyl, no. Yep, and they start having an opioid crisis, and it start hitting your city. Next thing you know, you want it to progress against the big pharma companies. This is insane, bro. But Republicans are now going to tour the border, and they allegedly was able to see actual real migrants crossing over the border and forcing themselves over into the country.
There are dozens of House Republicans. You have seen them in the recent moments getting off the buses. They are at the southern border right now. Fox has confirmed that next week, the much discussed impeachment hearing for Alejandro Mayorkas, who's in charge of our border with the Homeland Security under his watch, that hearing for his impeachment is going to get underway. So moments ago, Karine Jean-Pierre blamed Republicans for the record surge. Every day, every month is a new record in the numbers of people who cross our border. We're about to hear from that group of lawmakers. They're gathering right now on the border. We're going to bring that to you live. But first, we want to get a preview with our national correspondent on the border, Bill Malugin. Hi, Bill. Good to see you.
Martha, good afternoon to you. That delegation of Republicans just arrived, and a remarkable moment is playing out right now. I'll step out and show you live. So we have a group of illegal immigrants from Venezuela who just crossed over and are trying to enter Eagle Pass illegally through all the barbed wire. You can see all these Republicans here. That is the GOP delegation led by the House Speaker. They just got to witness what happens here every single day. The state of Texas has put up these shipping containers and this barbed wire here. And these Venezuelans came in and were asking us, saying, "Ayuda, ayuda, where's the entrance? Let us in." Asking where Border Patrol was. Well, this is Texas, and there's no Border Patrol here. And Texas is not letting these illegal immigrants in. One of them asked us, "Where's the president? Where's the president?" Lorenzo, if we can pan to the left real quick here. We got more of them in the river. The Republicans were saying earlier they were surprised at how dead it was here in Eagle Pass, that there were no crossings. Well, here they are now. They're starting to come. The delegation is here. They're getting to see what happens here in Eagle Pass. And it was just a remarkable moment to have all these guys trying to cross here right in front of these nearly 60 House Republicans who have come down to the border here today. And you can see the results here. They have not been able to enter so far because Texas has this barbed wire and these shipping containers. And they've been asking for help. There's no Border Patrol here, and Texas is not letting them in. Just to
look. So it's so disrespectful. Our borders are so disrespected and disrespectful that they said, "Hey, where the president at?" They said, "Where the president at? I need to speak to him." They said, "Where Biden at? Tell Biden I'm here." And we trying to figure out why y'all sitting here with this barbed wire and putting on a show for us, because we need to get over to the border. You know, I got a couple sassy people with me. We're going to send them to Denver. I got a couple people that's a little bit more tough, so we're going to send them over to O-Block over in Chicago, right? And then I got some people that really, really want to dedicate themselves to using up all y'all resources. We're going to get them over to New York. And then we really got some ones that ain't even trying to hide the sassiness. We're going to send them to Atlanta. Oh, man. What the heck? They walked up and said, "Where the president at? And where is the entrance?" Where the president and where the entrance? Where the L entrance at? Jesus Christ.
Short time ago, we spoke to some of the House Republicans who are here. Here's some of what they had to say when I asked them, is this just another dog and pony show? Take a listen.
We're hoping that some of our colleagues who don't share shut the government down or shut the border, we want them to see how real this is. Because if you don't come down to the border, you don't know.
And the way we're going to be able to make that happen is by the folks that are listening to your broadcast to call up their representatives and say, we are not going to tolerate the invasion that's taking place on our southern border any longer.
I might shoot down to, where is this? Where is this at? Somebody send me the location of where all of the migrants is getting in. And I might have to take a weekend trip this weekend to see what's happening down at the border. Do some in-person investigation to see what's happening. Somebody send me the address to where this crossing is so I can go down there this week. Eagle Pass, Texas? All right. I'm going to show y'all this next video, but I'm going to look up on my phone what the flights are to Eagle Pass. I need to see what's happening. But New Jersey, they don't want this no more.
In some instances, the migrants that southern states like Texas are sending to New York City and other major cities are ending up in New Jersey, in communities like Trenton, in an effort to work around rules made by Mayor Eric Adams that require buses to arrive only during designated hours at specific locations and with at least 32 hours notice. In this case, over the weekend, some migrants were sent via train to New York City from Trenton's Transit Center. And joining us now for more is Trenton's Mayor Reed Gassiora. Mayor, thank you so much for your time. How many buses have arrived in Trenton at this point, and is there anything you can do about it?
Well, on Saturday morning, I was informed that 4 buses between the hours of 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. dropped off 163 asylum seekers, all but 21 boarded trains bound for New York. Then again, last night, 5 additional buses with 215 migrants arrived at Trenton Transit, but all boarded trains bound for New York.
And so did some of those in the first group stay in Trenton?
They claim that they had...
I can get over to Eagle Pass. They got a nonstop flight from Detroit to Eagle Pass. I might have to go down there and do some reporting. Investigative journalism. What do y'all think? Y'all let me know inside of the chat whether or not I should head to Eagle Pass this weekend.
Family members in Trenton and that they were on their way to those houses. Unfortunately, by the time we got there, no one was at the train station since they were in the middle of the night. So we have no way of verifying that at this point.
I guess it's fair to assume you didn't have any heads up about this.
No, and that's what's make it so difficult, and that it could be a humanitarian crisis, and that they may have medical or food needs or shelter needs. But
do he got a sassy flag back there? Oh, wait. Hold on. This boy got an Obama change poster in the back. Y'all saying I need to head down to Eagle Pass? I see y'all. He got an Obama change poster. He got a sassy flag in the background. And he messy. But he said, don't keep dropping off these migrants over here. I don't care where the side of the fence is. Don't keep. Yo, anybody that still got an Obama change poster, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what y'all got.
We have no ability or resources to house them or take care of them.
Some suburbs of Chicago have started to pass ordinances to restrict migrant drop-offs. Will you consider a similar push?
We would, but we'd like to do that in concert with other Northeast corridor towns. We don't want to plug up one hole and then just shove the problem onto a neighboring municipality. But I agree with Mayor Adams that buses shouldn't arrive only between the hours of 8:30 and 12. That way they can be dealt with city personnel, and they certainly should have at least 32 hours notice.
So Denver is on fire. Migrants are still just walking in without a problem. And Jersey said, hey, man, we don't have $1, not $1. All the cities in Jersey said we don't have now $1 to be able to support what y'all got going on over there in New York and Chicago. But as usual, as long as the migrant crisis continue to go on, then Anton from AntonDaniels.com will be right here to report on it and give you guys an update on what's going on. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also tap into the Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Kung Fu Hustler says, what's up with Anton Jr.? Now, a lot of people think that I might have another baby on the way. That's not true. Any woman that say that I got a baby on the way, you can forget it. I got a vasectomy. They lying. God don't work that way. Not your turn, baby. But that's a joke from last night's show. At the end of the show, y'all make sure that y'all going to watch last night's show. Shout out to the Kung Fu Hustler. I appreciate you. Do you think Russell Wilson is a simp? Absolutely. 100% I think he's a simp. One of the biggest simps. Lil Black Duck 2001 says, Anton checking out knees like it's 1920. I think we need to get back to the things that we used to do back in the day. Elbows, knees, hands, mustaches, beards. I'm talking about all on a woman. Yes, John Best is in the building. Says, I live in a $2,500 a month apartment, and I probably pay the cheapest in my building. And it's across the highway from Spear and Zuni. That's in Denver, for a lot of y'all not familiar. The migrant problem is crazy out here. My girlfriend can't even stop for gas in the city. I told you it's coming into a neighborhood near you. Watch for it. Spacer says, ladies, he cheated on you if he's knee watching. Spacer shouldn't act like that. Spacer's actually met me in Detroit at a meetup. Pretty Boy 79 says, I know I'm late, but last night's message, I had to send that off to a few of my friends. I'm telling y'all. One conservative chick said, don't y'all get on Russell Wilson. He our Sim, not y'all Sim. Shout out to y'all. That message last night was popping. Kung Fu Hustler says, America is a joke. Indiana needs to be its own country with closed borders. I'm simply over the unruly United States of America. Well, you know they need more workers. We need more workers that's willing to do all of the jobs that y'all don't want to do. All of the stuff that y'all don't want to do, we need more workers. Y'all want to start being more responsible? Well, guess what? We going to get them in here by any means necessary. Marcus X says, really imagine who they let over here. Shaking my head, the United States of the Americas. All right, let's continue on because Brandon Johnson is under fire and he's going viral right now. And when I say viral, I mean viral. Some of y'all may not be familiar with it because your algorithm is a little different, but Brandon Johnson is going viral right now, and it's because he slipping in every time he get on a national platform, he's slipping in the idea that they're investing in and they want back reparations from the federal government for how they're trying to fix the problems that's happening inside of Chicago. They said that they want to fix problems in Chicago, crime, homelessness, issues, and trouble by asking for reparations several different times. And they caught him on a hot mic saying it again when he was interviewing with somebody. Take a look.
Progressive Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson says the government has to get more involved in ending the city's out-of-control crime crisis by paying out reparations.
Let me stop that for a minute. Before he actually shows some of the clips, the way that you stop the crime and the problems happening in Chicago is that you got to give the people reparations. Y'all still with me? Shout out to C. Jones getting that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift.
Watch.
What I've built within these last 7 months, in order for us to have a better, stronger, and safer Chicago, it really requires the full force of government. And I've just released my full-out community safety plan that not only gets at the root causes of violence in the city of Chicago, but we're making critical investments. We have stood up an entire office dedicated to reentry. So individuals who are returning to our communities who have been incarcerated because of failed policies, we'll have a welcoming space for them. I've added $500,000 for restoration and reparations.
Hold on for a second. Give me a second. Mayor Mohawk is taking tours and he's leveraging the full force of the federal government, and he's taking the initiative by allocating monies for restoration and reparations, especially for people that are re-entering, that are the victims of the system that kept them down. Mayor Mohawk is on the prowl. He did not learn his lesson from last year and just stand low, taking care of business, doing his job, talking to his constituents over in Chicago, and making sure he's on top of things. Instead, what he decided to do is he wants to go on a nationwide tour to advocate for and to allocate reparations and restoration for the people that's been harmed by this system that then led to the Chicago crime wave. Let me say that again. To solve for the Chicago crime wave, he's believing in restoration and reparations. Not more police, not more opportunities, not having people coming in as far as the migrant crisis. Is giving free money out to the people. That's going to solve for it. All right?
To address, again, the cycle of violence.
Let's bring in former NYPD officer Bill Stanton. Bill, reparations to fight crime. Please explain that to me.
Yeah, he should be a stand-up comedy because I'm laughing, Brian. I mean, this is so tragic. It's almost comical. I mean, let's go through the list, shall we? Equitable justice. How did that work out? You know, no cash bail, non-indemnification for police officers legally doing their job. You know, now what about the victims? We hear nothing but the victims. You know, talking about spending more taxpayer money for reparations. How about a novel idea of supporting the police?
Baby, if you're going to super chat, at least you're going to have to learn how to type my name right. Listen. We'll get to that super chat shortly. Let's continue.
Not defunding them and enforcing the laws on the books, making safe spaces for criminals to further impact the victims who are more than likely persons of color. It makes absolutely no sense, Brian.
Yeah, not a word about the victims. You know, since Mayor Johnson took over from Mayor Lori Lightfoot, you remember her, murders are down 13%, but total violent crime is up 17%. And what I hear Johnson saying is we've got to have a all of government approach, which of course is just his way of saying we're going to spend a heck of a lot more money. But I just don't see money being the answer here.
You can't throw money at a problem and expect to solve it. We've already seen that with DJ Academics. We've seen that with Epstein. We've seen that with everybody. Money makes you more of what you already are. And all the people going to do is be out here going and get BBLs. They're going to be in Miami. You're going to see a whole lot of Lamborghini Uruses, Cadillacs, Rolls Royce Cullinans. They're going to be sold out for the next 3 years, right? That's all it's going to do. It's going to be more parking on the grass, parking on the lawns. Ain't nobody actually going to do anything with it. Nobody is financially literate. But that's the way that we're going to solve for crime. We can get people to stop doing crime if we just give them some more money. Okay. And your money, let's be clear. Your money. This isn't just giving out money. This isn't just investing. This is giving out your taxpayer dollars. You guys do realize that they take it from you to give to you or to give to other people. You do realize that they're taking from you to give to other people. You pay taxes whether you want to. You don't get an opportunity to opt out. You don't. They already decide what they're going to do with your money before you even pay it. Before you pay it, they already going to do what they're going to do with your money. Every single time that you get your paycheck. I want y'all to start because they don't actually give it to you in a paper check anymore, because when you used to get that paper check, for those of y'all that's old enough, you used to first look at the top before you start looking at the bottom. First you go to the bottom and then you go back up to the top to try to figure out why so much missing, because you worked back then, what was it, like $10 an hour? When I first got out of high school, before I got that big bag, you work $10 an hour, you work your 45 hours, you're supposed to have $450. I remember my first check. For my first job when I was in high school, it was $10 an hour. I said, boy, I'm balling. I was in high school. I worked 45 hours that week. I worked 45 hours that week because it was on one of them breaks. One of them breaks. I don't know which it was. Holiday break, Christmas break. I worked 45 hours. I said, yeah, $450. I looked at that check. It had to be something under $300 or something. I said, hey. I went up to the office. I said, who is in here taking money from us? They said, Anton, you got to look at your pay stub. I looked at that pay stub. FICA, Fed, State. Who the heck is FICA and where did they come from? And why are they taking so much money? I had plans because, when you first get your first job or your first paycheck, you already start planning on how you spending the money. The money is spent before you ever get the check. And all the way up until me being 41 years old, I must say I've been, what, 15, 16 years old when I got my first job? Now I'm 41 and they still raping me. Still doing me like Ving Rhames in Pulp Fiction. Still bringing out the gimp. Don't worry. You think you're unique. You're not unique. They bringing out the gimp on you too. Oh, yeah. I figured out how to keep the gimp up off me a little bit, but they bringing out the gimp on you. Yeah, they are. They bringing out the gimp, been gimping on you since the gimp then came out. A lot of y'all trying to figure out what's the gimp. Go watch Pulp Fiction and it'll tell you what the gimp is.
No, money is not the answer here. Common sense is. And when I hear the word big government, I see ineffectiveness. I see people prevented from living their liberties. And I see the persons most impacted are persons of color in the inner cities who are the biggest victims. Now you add in Sanctuary City, where more taxpayer money is going. It is a recipe for disaster on many levels.
When police officers in Chicago hear this kind of stuff, Bill, what do they think?
When can I retire? How fast can I put in my papers? What's happening here, Brian, is this. The dirty little secret is a cop makes the same paycheck no matter what. And if you're going to defund me, if you're going to look to prosecute me for doing everything right, where is my initiative to fight crime? Cops will become report takers, not crime fighters. And that's what's happening, in my opinion.
That's actually makes sense. Because a police officer is going to get paid whatever he's going to get paid no matter what. So now what incentive do they have to go out there and chase? You know, if you look at some of these videos and it'll be like, oh, Dodge Hellcat goes 140 miles an hour, or Corvette goes 140 miles an hour to get away from the police. And then people be mad in chat like, they're endangering people by chasing him. We so backwards as a society that they won't say, oh man, you being reckless by driving 140 miles an hour and then forcing the police to chase you. They're endangering citizens by chasing him. And then the people be like, the cop be like, oh, okay. I ain't about to chase him. Cool. I get paid the same amount no matter what. They need to start incentivizing these cops. Hey, for every crime bust, for every problem you get off the street, for every illegal that you arrest, we're going to give you a bonus. Let me become mayor. Let me become the president of the United States. Let me become somebody that can have some real impact, a governor of a entire state. We're going to be putting incentives on y'all. They're going to be going to get y'all. They're going to be hunting y'all down. The same way that you got here is the same way that you're getting up out of here. The same way you got here is the same way you're getting up out of here.
This mayor is all he's doing is look to paying off people for votes to get reelected. And that's not the way to go to safeguard the citizens of Chicago.
So he mentioned the $500,000 for reparations. They've spent over $360 million on the migrant crisis. If I live in Chicago, I'm a law-abiding citizen. All I'm thinking of is, how do I get out of here? Because this growing bill is going to get stuck on my tax bill, and I'm not getting any great services from any of the money we're spending here, Bill.
And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a mass exodus from all these cities that are sanctuary cities. Why? Hundreds of millions of dollars being allocated towards things that are not enhancing the quality of life towards the American citizen or the resident of these areas, not in education. You're seeing veterans being displaced so they could live under a bridge. So you have migration, and we don't know the criminal records of these people that are coming in. There's no vetting process. You know, throwing more money at a problem does not fix the problem.
And you know what the interesting thing is about that is they selling y'all out for votes. When they go out here and they use your money to make you feel good, or they do a little bit of here and then they give the rest over to some contractor that's in who, what, when, where, why, and how place. And the contractors is getting rich because they servicing the migrants and they doing the worst thing for your community. You still going to vote for them because you're going to say that Democrats is for the poor and Republicans are for the rich. read a couple of super chats, and then we're going to start getting into the money, y'all. My favorite part of the show. The Millennial Mark TV says those are Venezuelan passport bros. They here for the independent modern woman who only needs a meek, hardworking man with a strong back. Let me tell you something, Millennial Mark TV. They going to be in for a ride. Especially for my sisters. Like this one right here. Hierarchy Finance Bureau. My people do not support Anton. Who the heck is Anton? It's the same woman that ended the show last night. She was calling me daddy, but she went to sleep. See, when y'all away for too long, y'all start getting antsy. You get back disrespectful. You get back away. You was calling yourself Anton Jr., and you was calling me daddy last night. Asking, hey, can I come and see? Now I'm going to have to revoke your pass. I'm revoking your invitation to the studio. Because I don't want you going where your people don't support. I'm revoking your pass to the Anton Daniels don't do coke in the back. You had an opportunity to go and sit on a black couch. You know that? You had an opportunity to go and sit on the black couch. Yeah, you did. Want me to show you where you could have been sitting? I'm going to show you where you could have been sitting. Don't worry about it. Let me see if I can get mine. You had an opportunity to come and do some great things over there on the black couch. But you know what you did? You know what you did? I'm going to show you what you did. You know what you did? Hold on, let me see if I can get it on this one. You know what you did? You know what you did? This is where you could have been sitting. I got some good things for you, baby. I'm going to show you where you could have been sitting. This could have been you. Hold on. Let me get my audio together. Get my audio together. This could have been you. This could have been you. You could have been over here. Let me show you where you could have been. That could have been you right there. That would have been me, and that would have been you. That would have been me, and that would have been you. We could have been looking out. That's my workstation over there. This is where I shoot the Millionaire Morning Show over here. You know what I'm saying? I would have took you to the back room. Listen, that's where the magic happens. Don't worry about it. I would have took you to the back room, made the magic happen, and all of that. But no, you wanted to be a bad girl. You decided that you wanted to say that your people don't mess with Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Okay, all right. Well, here we are. You could have been on the black couch and you could have went and visited. You had an opportunity to go and visit the black room. But no, you don't get to go to the black room. Oh, don't worry. We got some back rooms in here. We got some other spaces for people that want to relax and all of that. But that's not what you wanted to do. That's not what you wanted to do. So now look at you. Now look at you. Now look at you. We got some new technology in here. Don't worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me continue. Shout out to Millennial Mark TV. Also, shout out to Hierarchy Finance Bureau. Jay Hunter Lee says these illegals are going to be the new Negroes. Shout out to the new Negroes. I don't have an answer for that. Oh, shout out to you, Siri. I appreciate you. Jay Hunter Lee, thank you, my friend, for holding me down. The man, Dak Man 2018 says, Anton, Mayor Brandon don't even pay his traffic tickets. Just start a story. Oh, come on, man. You can, the new me, Michaela. Come on through. Come on through, new me, Michaela. You absolutely can come and visit and take a tour of the Anton Daniels Don't Do Coke in the Bathroom studio. Some of y'all have never gotten some of the behind the scenes. I'll give you all a full tour. We got a lot of construction going on over there. Sign Assure says, y'all tried $3.15 an hour. My first job was at Burger King. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. I got a whole segment on the other channel called The Black Couch. Black Cartwright says that lady from last night was a fool. And now she got her invitation rescinded. She could have told her mama, I had an opportunity to sit on the black couch right after I signed that paperwork. But no, you wanted to be sassy. You wanted to be sassy. You had an opportunity to come on tour. A lot of y'all got to see where some of my workspaces are. You had an opportunity to come on tour, but no, you wanted to be sassy. Don't worry about it. You ain't going to diddy me. You ain't gonna diddy me. I'm reading that super chat shortly. Let me continue. I think these people be trying to set me up anyway. I'm very, very careful. I think these people be trying to set me up anyway. Where you at, the new me, Michaela? Hold on. Let me see something before we get into it. Where you at? Where you located? You here in Michigan? Yeah. We can arrange that. We might be able to arrange that. Send me an Instagram DM. We're gonna see what's happening. You got to be able to sign the paperwork though. Messi, you want to come too? Y'all gotta sign. Listen, you no sir. You married? All right. I don't think you want to come to the black couch. We'll talk about that later. We got to get to the money. Biden is sending $162 million. You in St. Louis? Hit me up. Send me a message on Instagram. Biden sends $162 million. Girl, get on out of the chat. Rita, go on out of here. You ain't even supposed to be listening to the show. I'm trying to get to the next part of the show, and Rita's over here out here in these streets. Oh, Rita know who her husband is. She know who her husband is. I'm a feisty one. Michaela, just ignore. Chat lives matters. We interact with the chat. Michaela, ignore what's going on. Rita, you stay over there. Michaela, you stay over there. Stop focusing on all of the things that don't matter. Gosh. Can we get a moderator to ban Rita, please? All right. We gotta figure out what's going on. All right, Biden is sending $162 million for chips. Let's take a look, y'all. Let's get back to the money. We got to focus.
Welcome back, everybody. The White House announcing a preliminary deal with microchip technology as part of the administration's Chips and Science Act. Christina Partsinevelos joins us right now. She's got more on that story. And Christina, good morning.
Good morning. Well, the Biden administration is again choosing to focus on national security and the military with its second CHIPS Act grant of $162 million to Microchip. Microchip makes these small chips used for very specific technology tasks, so not like the NVIDIA chips that we always talk about used in AI systems. These mature chips are critical, though, for America's auto sector, the industrial, as well as defense industries. So
Hey, Michaela, you get on out of here. Stop. You don't explain. Y'all break up. Go to the different sides. We focus on the CHIP Act. All right.
The money is going to be $90 million of the CHIPS Act grant going to modernize a fab in Colorado, and the remaining 72 will be for a fab in Oregon. Senior administration officials promised the grant.
Let me go back for a minute. I want to break this down. Microchip Technologies is a chip company. Now, for those of you that are not familiar, Biden signed the CHIPS Act. That was one of his milestone legislation initiatives that he signed during his tenure as president, which I don't anticipate him continuing to be president for long, but this is one of the milestone acts that he signed while he was in office. The CHIPS Act. For this $162 million that he's earmarking, $90 million is going to go to a Colorado fabrication expansion where they built the chips. $72 million of it is going to go over into a plant over in Oregon. And they've been the one, they're the company, they're a publicly traded company that has earmarked monies for, this is the federal government, y'all. They earmark monies in order to continue to send them money. Now, these companies make a lot of money. They are very, very profitable. But we're earmarking at least $162 million in order to expand fabrication of chips. But they're saying that they're doing it for national security. So that's the umbrella. That's the umbrella that they have all of this under. They said, hey, we need to earmark this money for the CHIPS Act and for national security. I'm going to bring it up for y'all, and I'm going to break it down for y'all as soon as we get through this.
And the remaining 72 will be for a fab in Oregon. Senior administration officials promised that this grant would triple production and provide roughly 700 new U.S. jobs. The goal is, of course, to reshore and be less reliant on foreign suppliers. Rather than pick Intel or Taiwan Semi as first recipients, the Biden administration is choosing to focus on national security chip producers like Microchip. Just a few weeks ago, the first official CHIPS Act award of $35 million was allocated to BAE Systems, a military contractor. So the $53 billion CHIPS Act funding actually has $39 billion allocated to all of these manufacturers on American soil. The Department of Commerce will have their hands full after receiving roughly 570 statements of interest in over.
So let me break this down for y'all. I want to bring this up on my screen so y'all can see exactly what it is and where the monies is being allocated, all right? Let me see if I can pull this up. The CHIPS and Science Act, all right? This was, I believe, signed in August of 2022. And I'll actually bring it up on my screen so y'all can see it for yourself, all right? This is the CHIPS and Science Act, right? And basically it's investing $280 billion to bolster U.S. semiconductor capacity and to catalyze research and development and create a regional high-tech hub for a bigger, more inclusive STEM workforce. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, bigger and more fruitful STEM workforce. Hold on, let me go back. Actually, I want to go onto it on the federal government website really quickly. I don't want to go there. Let's go to whitehouse.gov on the fact sheet. So the idea of it is that this is really a war that they in with China and for other countries for technology, right? It's one of the reasons why we have Taiwan on our list of places that we want to support, even when we have them in the same vein as Israel and Ukraine. So what Biden is doing in their administration is basically doing, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong. What Biden and their administration is doing is they've created a CHIPS Act that they signed in 2022. A lot of y'all may not be familiar with it. A lot of y'all may be familiar with it a little bit, but you don't really know what's going on. I covered this 2 years ago, but we're going to bring it back to the forefront because the money is now just being allocated. So when we go over Stock Club inside of the Patreon and we go through the different chips companies to see whether or not we should allocate more resources or bolster our portfolio as a result of it, we want to see where the money is going. But basically, one of his milestone moments, including the infrastructure deal, was a part of the CHIPS Act. And it says, in President Biden's first year, and this is the actual whitehouse.gov, so they are telling you out of their mouth what their goal is, and then I'm going to break it down from a C student's perspective. They've implemented an industrial strategy to revitalize domestic manufacturing. Code for, we don't want our technology to be over in China, and we don't want to have to continue to compete with what's going on in Taiwan and the battle for it, because based off of what we want our military industrial complex to be, or we want it to continue to be at the forefront of all of these other countries, it's important for us to make sure we invest in semiconductor chip technology. Well, how are they going to do that? Well, you take all of these already established chip companies and you incentivize them to build and manufacture and continue to reinvest money, and they give them monies. They give them free monies to expand. They give them free monies and incentives, and they give them tax breaks to expand over in Oregon and Texas and all of these places. And they give them monies to continue to grow and say that we don't want you to do business over there, because that's the question that y'all really going to ask me. Well, why would they give money? Why would they give this free American tax dollars that y'all pay into these federal government? Why would they give that free money out? Well, they basically saying, well, we want you to be our chip manufacturer, and we're guaranteeing to continue to spend this amount of money over here, but we don't want you to do business with them over there. One of them is China, okay? And so they're going to make it under the guise of, because the only way that you can sell it to the American people and get buy-in from Congress and other legislative branches, they'll say, well, what we want to do is we want to create jobs for the American people. They don't. They want to protect the interests of America. And so they're going to say, well, we're going to create good paying jobs and strengthen American supply chains and accelerate the industries of the future. And these policies have spurred a historic recovery in manufacturing and adding 642,000 jobs since 2021. Where? Today, President Biden will sign into law the Bipartisan Chips and Science Act of 2022. Micron is announcing $40 billion in investment. Qualcomm, Global Foundries, the Chips and Science Act. Well, let's go back to the original article that I was showing you guys. All right. Here's what's in it. $280 billion earmarked for the chips companies. Companies that are already multi-billion-dollar companies. They're allocating monies to it in order to get exclusivity to whatever it is that they produce and in the first opportunity to buy. Sign a CHIPS Act, all right, directs $280 billion in spending over the next 10 years. That's $280 million a year that they're earmarking to send over to these companies. It goes on to say that this is where the funding is. STEM, research and development, workforce and economic development programs, authorizations at National Science Foundations, U.S. Department of Energy, and the U.S. Department of Commerce. It's insane, man. So if you want to know where your American dollars are going, this is where. $50 billion in investments over 5 years, $11 billion to advance semiconductor research and development, $75 billion direct loan and loan guarantee program, $6 billion to cover the loan and the loan guarantees, $2 billion for legacy chip production. So that's chips that they already have in production that they're already making. $39 billion to accelerate and drive domestic chip production. Basically, they paying them to build the plants that they gonna own. They giving them money to build plants that they already are going to own or they already own. All right? $2 billion to the Department of Defense to fund microelectronics research and fabrication and workforce training. $1.5 billion for the U.S. Telecommunications Act, which aims to enhance competitiveness of software and hardware supply chains of Open RAN 5G networks. $500 million to the Department of State to coordinate, I don't even know what all of these departments are, what foreign government partners on semiconductor chip supply chain security. Come on, man. This is the breakdown of national security funding within creating helpful incentives to produce semiconductors. They put a nice acronym on it and call it the Chips and Science Act. Tax credits of $24 billion to spur private investment until January 1st, 2027. This is crazy, man. And you can't even protect our borders. $174 billion earmarked for investment in science, technology, engineering, and math programs, workforce development, and R&D. Wow. $81 billion for the National Science Foundation. U.S. Department of Energy gets $67.1 billion. Gosh. This is crazy. So anyways, they've allocated monies and they've already signed the CHIPS Act, which, and somebody said, Jarrell Davis says, I never voted for this. Yes, you did. You voted for it when you voted in the Congress, when you voted in the President of the United States. You authorized them to act on your best interest in your behalf, even if you don't know what's going on, even if you never knew what was in the CHIPS Act, you automatically signed into this. And so now that they're allocating the monies, you saying, well, I never voted for this. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Except for the issues that you voted for was largely being celebrated as Black Lives Matters, or if you don't vote for us, then you're not black, or Sandra Bland and George and all of this other type of stuff, and defund the police. They sold you because that's the issue. Abortion rights. Those were the issues that you wanted to hear. We're going to figure out how to link up with Ice Cube after we get elected. But along with those other policies, if you went to their presidential website and their everything that's going on, and it's a reason why people ask you all the times. And I'm looking at an interview with Vivek just recently over the weekend, and he said, listen, it's going to cost at least $2 billion to get somebody into the White House. Well, why will we spend $2 billion to get a person into the White House that's going to make less than $500,000 a year? Because other people have special interests behind why they want to see these people in office. And it's not just the president, it's Congress, the House of Representatives, everything. It's everything. And it's all there for you to see, but the thing that they know that you only going to pay attention to is the thing that they advocating in front of you. And so when all of y'all forgot about every reason why you protested and they was giving you a little bit of stimulus check and stimulus money, in the meantime, the big dogs was getting $280 billion allocated to them for over the next 10 years. And you taking scraps off the table and they paying for it with your money. It's your money that's funding it. And they're going to sell it to you in the form of jobs that you never going to get. And why would they spend $2 billion? So they can get $280 billion. That's why. That's the best investment that you can make. Why would I spend $2 billion? And guess what? Most people that's playing the game is playing it on both sides. They playing it for the favor and the lobbyists on both sides. Donald Trump is notorious for when he was a citizen or when he was just a businessman and he wasn't a politician for saying, and he'll say this, he donated to both Republicans and Democrats at the same time. Why? Because it's in the best interest of people that actually look to get certain things passed through that they're then going to make a lot of money from. It's the best investment that you can make.
For 170 pre and full applications for funding. That means out of that $39 billion, there's still a lot more money left to be dispersed to other companies. So we're expecting more awards in Q1 of this year.
You know, the money is kind of slow to get out. I've heard from some companies who have complained about this and gone on and back and forth. It takes a lot.
Companies are complaining about the fact that the federal government is slow to send them their dollars. Ain't that crazy?
Long time to build up these fabs. It takes a long time, I would guess, to retool them. How long are we talking before we really get an influx of new chips that are
it'll be
produced here?
5+ years. To your point, the fabs could take anywhere between 3 and 5 years. Many of these companies have started construction. Specifically with Microchip, they actually announced that they were going to be building these fabs and modernizing it back in February. So they did this before even receiving the CHIPS Act funding. The CHIPS Act funding is only going to contribute maybe 10% of the total cost. They promised $880 million. So it's a small portion, and the government wants you to know that it's not a handout. We're trying to incentivize private investment on U.S. soil. So it's a combination of private and public. The problem, though, from the CHIPS side is that it's taking a while, but then the government side, I did a whole piece on it. They'll argue, what are you talking about? Since February 2022, we've already given 2 awards. It takes a lot of people. We have over 100 staff members, 500 applications or statements of interest, I should say. So it's not an easy task. And the whole goal is to, stop relying as much on China. And it's interesting with this is focusing on these mature chips. And the concern in the near future is we're all focused on AI. We're cutting off China. And China is just going to continue to dominate on the mature node side, which is for the auto sector, industrial. And so that's what the Biden administration is showing, that, we all.
And this is exactly what I explained to you before she even broke it down to you. And I've been harping on this and preaching on this for over 2 years now. And now you're starting to see the monies get dispersed. Well, why do you think that these people started building? Because they already knew that the money was coming. Well, how did they know that the money was coming? How did they know that they was going to be the one selected? How do you think that they know that they was going to be selected? Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to get to the final part of the money before we get up out of here, because we weren't on a tight ship here. Eric the Wealthy says, at 25, your advice have changed my life. Shout out to the Chasers. Shout out to the Bag Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to my dog Will Lou in the building. Says, hey Anton, what's a good software to edit videos on a laptop? Just started my YouTube channel. My first video, how to unload a tanker is up now. Okay, so listen. I use a couple different things, right? If I'm in my office, if I'm in my studio, or if I'm working feverishly, or what I use versus what my editors use is two different things. So some of my editors may use Final Cut Pro just because they've been using it for a long time. Most of the people that work for me use Premiere Pro. So I am a part of the Adobe Creative Cloud, which means that I buy and I purchase licenses for everybody that work with me to be a part of the Adobe Creative Cloud, meaning that they get access to Photoshop, Illustrator, the whole entire suite, right? And so one of the things that they use After Effects and they use Premiere Pro. Now that's if you want to really spend some time editing, modifying the audio and all of that stuff. A lot of times what I really do is I go and get here, I'll show you what I do. Most of the time, I'm shooting every single video that I shoot right on this. So I grab the iPhone, right? It's the reason why I got two of them. One of them is for business, one of them is for personal. But I grab my iPhone, I throw it inside of my gimbal in order to stabilize my video. And that's why when I'm walking down the street, my video is so stable. But I got a DJI, I forgot what this, DJI something. But I throw it inside of this, right? Bam. I throw on the camera, I cut it on, and then I turn it sideways, and then I'm walking around like this. I take the bottom off, because that's only for when it's sitting down. And so a lot of times when I'm recording like this. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, and it stabilizes it, right? And so I don't have to worry about it being real shaky, and the video is real shaky or anything like that. And so I might record it on this and then, no, buy the subscription. Don't buy the software. That way you'll always continuously get the updates. Don't listen to Blackjack on that one. So I record it on this, right? And then I just throw it in iMovie. If I want to cut off the beginning or I want to do a fade out on the end, I throw that junk in iMovie. I go on YouTube right on my phone and I upload it straight from my phone. Sometimes I never even touch the editing software. I never even send it to the editors. If I do an interview, then the editors take care of that and then they go and chop it up. We upload it into the cloud. That way they never have to come into the studio. They can come into the studio if they want to, but the editors just edit all of the interviews. We chop them up, we throw them into whatever we throw it up in, and then we get them up out of there. But most of the time, a lot of the videos that I'm shooting, I just shoot it right on this. Or sometimes I just be talking just like this into my phone. But if I really want to, make it a little bit cleaner, then I throw it inside of this. I can fold it up. I can take it inside of my backpack. I can detach it and break it down. And so I just keep certain tools with me inside of my backpack, and that's a lot. That allows for me to, create the content. So a lot of the stuff, you don't have to have all of this super expensive equipment in order. A lot of people be like, oh man, I want to invest in I edit that junk in iMovie and send that junk out. And I make sure that I create the content based off of the message that I'm giving people. And so I may take a little bit of effort and go out into the city. A lot of times I'm in downtown, so I'll go out into the city, record, shoot it. You know what I'm saying? Make it a little bit more interactive for the people, that type of stuff. Had a background behind me, shoot some B-roll footage, edit it inside of iMovie. But a lot of times I just use the free iMovie that came with the phone. I use the free iMovie that came with the phone. And then, if we want to do a little bit more extensive work, or we want to change some stuff, or we want to create better cover photos, we use Photoshop Express sometimes. And then we use a combination of Photoshop Express and a Photoshop, the real one that's on that. I might throw it inside of the iPad, change some stuff up. So I got all of the tools that I need. But you don't need a whole lot of stuff in order to create good content. Great content is great content. And so you got to just put the work in. Most people think that it take a whole lot of equipment. No, we built this We built the studio as we needed it. So as we continued to grow and we needed more space, we wanted to interview people. We didn't always want to rent an Airbnb, or we didn't want to rent a studio. We wanted to have our own studio. We wanted to have the ladies come through and record some content. We just made sure that we created the studio as we went. But you don't need a whole lot of content. You don't even need to buy no equipment. Use iMovie, chop that junk up. I edit that junk while I'm on the plane or while I'm waiting in the airport on my phone, and I send that junk out. Long as I got a decent signal, I'm good. So that's what I do. So shout out to William Lucian. That was a great question. And I always like to add as much value into y'all as I possibly can. Nah, you don't need no big old camera. I only use these type of cameras when I'm in the studio or when I'm recording an interview. Brock says, pass the love offering. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate you. And then last but not least, JP says, AD, I believe the entire U.S. is late to the migrant fiasco. Many of the Northeast states, such as Massachusetts, were sanctuary states years before this became news. Remember, DACA was introduced in 2012 for a reason. That's true. That is absolutely true. Y'all want a full studio of how I work inside of my studio on the Patreon? I'll do that to you. I actually shoot that this weekend because if I don't fly over to Eagle Pass, Texas, then I'll shoot that this weekend. All right. Last but not least, the last thing that we want to get to is it better to rent or buy a home with these market conditions and these interest rates and the things that we have going on over here? Is it better right now to rent or buy a home? I seen this pop up on my algorithm, and so I wanted to share this with you guys and react to it in real time. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Let's get to it, y'all.
Is it better to buy or rent a home? Buying has almost always been favored over renting.
And make sure y'all get the likes up too. I know y'all be forgetting because y'all just want to get in here and interact and chat lives matters. But make sure y'all get the likes up too.
When it comes to housing, for generations, the prevailing wisdom has been that renting is wasting money. But what about now, with a tough real estate market characterized by elevated listing prices and interest rates? David Leonhardt has long covered this issue for the New York Times. He's also the author of the book on the economy called Ours Was the Shining Future, the story of the American dream. David Leonhardt, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So considering this daunting real estate market, limited inventory, interest rates for a 30-year fixed somewhere between 6.5% and 7%, and a median U.S. home price of $420,000, what?
Man, where your stash at, bro? Where your stash at, bro? Can't be up there looking like a veggie tail.
And a median U.S. home price of $420,000. What is a prospective home buyer to do? Is renting these days actually a better option?
For most people, it is a better option. That is, if you don't already own. I'm not saying that most people should sell their homes if they own. If you own, you probably have a pretty good mortgage rate. But for people who don't yet own a home and are trying to make a decision, the economics of renting have not looked this good in a long time. And I think I understand why people have so long been down on renting. There's even been some shame associated with renting. And I think it's important to say, look, for most people right now who are trying to figure out whether to buy or rent, renting is the smarter option financially. You'll save money. And there's a reason there's so much of a sense that Americans should never rent, which is.
One of the things that it is, I think that he made a couple of really good points. But let me add in my 2 cents. People they shame you for renting. Even though they don't know that most people that are super successful, they own property, but they still have a place that they rent out. I'll give you an example. New York has 370,000 millionaires, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I double check that. How many? According to Investopedia, as of April 19th, 2023, New York City has the most millionaires, is the world's wealthiest city with about 340,000 millionaires as of April 19th. 2023. So New York City is a hub that basically has the most millionaires, even though they also have the biggest population, because I just looked at a video from Jordan Cash where he says that 2.7 million people in New York are basically homeless. But then at the same time, New York has the most millionaires. Well, guess what? New York is a renter's city. New York is a renter's city. Most people, including most of the millionaires in New York, they do not own the property that they are spending the majority of their time in. Now, whether or not they write it off as a business expense, and there's ways that you can do that and all of that, I'm not going to get into that on this because I'm not a financial advisor. We're going to have to tap into the Patreon in order to get that masterclass, and we do plan on doing another masterclass on that this year. But they have the most millionaires, but most of them are renting the properties that they spend the majority of their time in. It's just a fact. Now, the question then becomes, is it better to rent or buy? But it depends on your lifestyle. It depends on where you at. It depends on the property taxes. It depends on the terms of the loan that you get. The problem with most people is not determining whether or not they should buy or they should rent. Most people can't afford a home. Read that super chat shortly. Thank y'all. Most people can afford a home. Most people can't afford the home that they want. That's the problem. Most people cannot afford the home that they want. Here's the dynamics, and here's how you should make the decision. First, you have to evaluate what your long-term goals on. If you looked at the live stream from last night, I gave y'all a couple of hits. I was talking about relationships, but I was also referring to finances in order to justify my argument. And I was saying that, listen, the decisions that you make today is going to determine whether or not you're going to be successful tomorrow. It's all in reverse. And so a lot of times we'll go for the shiny object, and you'll buy that car or you'll finance a home for 30 years because you want the best available, and you basing it based off of the payment that you're going to make instead of basing it off of what you want your economic status to be long-term, what you want your net worth to be. So I'll give you two different scenarios of whether or not you should rent or you should buy. In some instances, some people need a roommate, or some people would just want to stack up, spend a majority of their time investing. They're not in a real good situation. They don't even know where they're going to be living at long-term. They speculating. And so in that instance, you may want to go with the option, the cheapest available option, so you can stack the majority of your money, because your investments or what you're investing in, sometimes you even investing in yourself. You may be a student. You may be going back to school. You may be spending an ordinary amount of time over in this particular area, whatever, right? Property taxes, HOA fees, all of that stuff factors into it. But the first thing that you should try to do is minimize the amount of money that you have to spend on housing. But people want to justify their purchases, so a lot of times they overspend on things that they shouldn't have. Conversely, when you decide that you want to buy a house, are you purchasing too much house? Because everybody is going to say, oh my God, I can't afford the bills. But chances are you bought more house than you actually needed or you're using. And so housing is supposed to be a vehicle, not just for you to live a lifestyle. It's supposed to be an idea for you to be able to make sure you got shelter over your head so you can really live life and have experiences, right? So most people that get into purchasing a house, they get a 30-year mortgage by default. Instead of looking at the type of house and where you want to live and then saying, can I afford this? Do I need to lower my lifestyle? Right? So you can pay off that house much faster, pay less in interest over into the finance company or the bank, and finance it for 10 or 15 years. My rule of thumb, and I know this is not popular because it doesn't make the banks more money and interest. My rule of thumb is you should only be financing your house at a maximum of 15 years, preferably 10. Then you're going to have the people that come back and they're going to say, well, what if I finance it for 30 and I pay it off for 15? Very few people actually do that. Most people get caught up in their credit cards in the same way. Well, I'm only going to get it in order to get the perks. Well, why are consumer debt exploding more and bigger than it's ever been? Because you were brought in to think that that's what you were going to do. That's how you convinced yourself to get it. But in reality, you spent money on something that you couldn't afford, and having that credit card gave you this confidence, and it made things available to you that you wouldn't normally do in a situation where you had to pay cash. That's why casinos give you chips instead of giving you cash to bet. They give you chips because it's easier to use. It's less valuable in your mind when you start to use them and throw them out on the table. If you was to have cash and doing it, you will be using it a completely different way. And it's the same psychological method that they use when it comes to financing and using credit cards, and also when it comes to mortgages. So when you're having this conversation with yourself and you're saying, well, should I rent or should I buy? I think that there's pros and cons to both, but it depends on the lifestyle and what your long-term goals are.
We have this huge industry, the real estate industry, that makes a lot more money from selling homes than renting them. And it helps to get out this message that people should buy rather than rent, when in fact, many people should rent.
On the other hand, David, rents are sky high right now. As of November, the national median for a one-bedroom apartment was roughly $1,500 a month. In New York City, it was $4,300 a month. So isn't that throwing away money in the sense that you're not building equity when you're paying that much money?
It's important to remember all the ways that you also throw money away by buying. There is a very large fee, often in the tens of thousands of dollars, that goes to a real estate agent. That's throwing money away.
A lot of people don't truly calculate the true cost of buying a home. They only look at the equity. Listen, unless you're going to live in that home for at least 10 to 15 years, in most instances, you don't even really get the true value out of the home unless you're hoping that it appreciate. And sometimes it doesn't, especially depending on the area that you buy in. You pay all of these fees. You pay the property taxes. You pay the fees over into the real estate agents when you sell it. You pay fees to refinance it. You pay fees when it comes to homeowners insurance. You pay fees and maintenance. You pay all of these different things. I just got a call the other day from one of my properties, and they wanted to do a mold testing because they said that it had been moisture over in a specific area, and they wanted to make sure that there wasn't any toxic mold in there. Well, how much did that cost me? $900. Then I got a phone call and saying, well, it's not toxic mold, but we want to make sure that we remove some stuff and insulate it and take care of this and all of this other type of stuff with the company. Then I said, okay, well, how much is that going to cost me? Somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000. So either I'm going to have to come out of that out of pocket, or hopefully I can tap into the homeowner's insurance in order to continue to pay for it. But that is an unexpected fee as a owner of a property that I'm renting over into people that I have to take care of as a landlord. They don't tell you that, right? Last year, it was another property that I had where they called me in the summertime and they said, hey, we need to refresh the Freon or whatever, so on and so forth, inside of the cold air, right? In order to make sure that the air is cold and everything is working fine. Called them over there. Guy said, hey, Anton, next year you're going to have to replace this system altogether because whatever it is that they selling as far as the Freon, that's pretty much being phased out. You're going to have to get a whole new system. Okay, cool. Well, you know what? Let me check the furnace too. Check the furnace. Anton, if you don't go ahead and replace the furnace, man, these are people that I trust. These are not people that's finessing me, and I get multiple different estimates and second opinions. Anton, you need to replace the furnace and the central air system. How much is that going to cost me? Somewhere between $7,000 and $8,000. Okay, go ahead and knock that out, right? And your real estate strategy are 3-tiered. That's the first video that I'm going to release to y'all on the Patreon. And I'm going to break down the 3 ways that people look at real estate investing in order to make a lot of money from it. And I'm going to go into it and I'm going to break it down all the way down to a science for y'all from a C student's perspective. My point is, if I'm looking at those particular properties, because I got a different real estate strategy than everybody else, if I'm looking at those properties just based off of cash flowing, then those years, I may not necessarily be making a lot of money, right? I may not necessarily be making any money. I might be in a negative for those properties. Do you make enough money to be able to cover that? Because most people just look at what's the difference between a rent and what's the difference between how much money did they pay in rent, but you're not really understanding that you're going to have to replace a roof, right? It's going to be an accident in there. You may have turnover in the properties that you have. You may not necessarily be able to raise the rent. It's a lot of factors that go into it. But my point is that these strategies that come along with, or how you calculate what real estate is really worth to you, as far as whether you get an equity or not, it doesn't necessarily work in your favor 100% of the time. It doesn't necessarily work in your favor 100% of the time. So don't just let somebody just give you a cookie cutter answer and saying, hey, it's better to buy than it is to rent. Most people can't even understand the amount of money that it takes in order to purchase in the first place. You want to put down 3.5%. Okay, now you got to pay private mortgage insurance. It's a lot of factors that go into it.
You're paying the bank huge amounts of interest, and the mortgage interest deduction reduces that interest, but it doesn't eliminate it. That's throwing away money. It's giving it to a bank. You have to do repairs when you own a home, often repairs that don't really add to the value of the house. Like if your roof is leaky and you have to fix it, you have no choice but to do that. That's not a renovated kitchen. It's just throwing money away to keep you where you are. And then finally, there's the opportunity cost. If you didn't buy a home, if you didn't use all that money for a down payment, you could have invested it in the stock market. You could have invested it in other ways.
That's true.
And so it's true that renting involves throwing money away, but so does buying.
Well, why are home prices so high right now? Because it strikes me that with high interest rates, that would or should suggest that demand would be lower and that sellers would then have to cut the price of the home in order to drive up demand, but that's not happening.
No, it's not. And Jeff, the way you described it is exactly the way a market should work. It's just the housing market is a bizarre market in which psychology plays a really big role. And so what a lot of people do is they say, I'm not willing to accept less than a certain price for their home. Maybe they think about the price they bought it for and they add on the cost of all the repairs and renovations they've done. Or maybe it's a round number. But we've all done this ourselves, or we've known family members who've done it. They've said, well, I'm just not willing to accept less than $350,000. Or less than $850,000 or whatever for their house. And so what they do when they don't find the demand for housing that they want, when they don't get the offers that they want, they pull their house off the market and they think, I'll put it back on later. And so housing ends up having this really artificial quality in which prices don't fall to meet reduced demand. And that's where we are right now. So if you're a would-be home buyer right now, you kind of have the worst of all worlds. Interest rates have gone way up, but prices haven't fallen. And so you really have to pay a huge amount of money to buy a home. And that's exactly why, for most people, again, not forever, but in the short or medium term, renting makes a lot of sense for a lot of people in the Northeast, on the West Coast, in major markets like Atlanta and Dallas and places like that.
So you have to be very, 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 very careful. And I think that every situation is unique. That's the biggest takeaway from this whole segment, is that every situation is unique. There is not a one-size-fits-all solution to what you think that you're trying to do when it comes to renting versus buying. Depends on where you are in your journey, how old you are. I know one thing is for sure. I'm 41 years old right now. I cannot imagine paying a 30-year mortgage on a home until I'm 71. I can't. Based off of what I see life being, I just can't imagine paying a 30-year mortgage for a home until I'm 71. That sounds crazy to me. It just sounds crazy. And I'm talking about a personal home that I live in. I can't even imagine living in the same place for 30 years. That's just not my lifestyle. It's not my lifestyle at all. So I got a different lifestyle. I got a different objective. I got a different thing that I'm trying to solve for. I'm in a different space in my life. And so I align my interests and my purchasing and my investment strategies based off of where I see myself in the next 10 years. So that's how I kind of look at it. Let me read these super chats and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here for today. Let's see what we got. Jeremy H says, what do you use to track business expenses for taxes? That's a Patreon video. I dropped that inside of the Patreon. I did. I talked about it. I broke it down. I showed people an example of it. I showed them exactly what I use, how I use it. And even in the most recent video where I showed y'all the progress of the home, well, not the one of the most recent videos because I'm actually doing a whole nother video. I showed y'all the exact software that I use in order to document my business expenses and how I do my bookkeeping. So it is a free software. It is incredible software. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I'm going to be a little bit more careful of the things that I share on the show, on a free show, versus where I give the value to the Patreon members going forward. Devastator says, thinking about taking out a loan for a car to put on Turo. What's your opinion? Don't do it. Don't do it. They're going to tear your stuff up. Look, think about it. When y'all go over to Vegas or y'all go over into a different place, people dog out rental cars. They're going to dog your stuff out. Do not take out a loan to put on Turo. I've heard so many horror stories, and their insurance is not even that good. It doesn't even help. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe I'll even do, new bag chasers can see all of the old videos that I put up. Maybe I'll even do a whole video inside of the Patreon on the benefits and the pros and the cons on renting from Turo. All right, I wouldn't do it. Don't do it, Devastator. Do not finance a car to put it on Turo. That's just my personal opinion. Dark Side said, don't rent, buy Bitcoin, BTC. That's one way to put it. Trap and Slay says, no facial hair is the equivalent to black Air Force Ones and white ankle socks and jean shorts. Throw that in there too. Black Air Force Ones, white ankle socks pulled up, and jean shorts. Dark Side says, rent and buy BTC. All right, we get it. JP says, these overnight agents sell buyers' dreams Everyone wants to do real estate without understanding. It's the second highest career choice after OF. Thank you, my friend. Listen, it's been an incredible show. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. For the ladies, my Mercedes. If you want to do an in-person tour of the studio, just don't tell Rita. Holla at me. All right? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you guys. I appreciate you. You are the best and the greatest audience ever. We almost, our first weekend, y'all. Friday is tomorrow. Hope y'all got paid today. Don't fumble the bag. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later on tonight on After Hours. Peace.